Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Koffman, a retired family doctor and clinical professor, the co-founder, executive vice president, and chief medical officer of the nonprofit CLL Society, and a CLL patient myself for almost 20 years. And I'm here to share with you important breaking news both in research and regulatory matters related to CLL. And the topic I'm discussing today is a regulatory issue, which is good news for CLL patients. I've titled it, FDA Drops REMS, a Plan to Reduce Risks for CAR-T in CLL. What's the bottom line? The FDA's Mandatory Plan to Manage Drug Risks, or REMS, Risk Evaluation and Mitigation Strategies, was dropped for CAR-T, making it more accessible for CLL. So let's discuss what this means. On June 26, 2025, the FDA eliminated the Risk Evaluation and Mitigation Strategy, or REMS, for the currently approved BCMA and CD19-directed autologous CAR-T cell therapies, concluding that REMS are no longer needed to ensure the benefits of these treatments outweigh their risks and to reduce the burden on the healthcare system. For chronic lymphocytic leukemia patients, this means that lisocel, or lisocabtagene maraleucel, which is a CD-directed autologous CAR-T therapy, will be easier to administrate. By the way, BCMA CAR-Ts are used to treat multiple myeloma with great success. What it means when we say a CAR-T that's CD19-directed and that's autologous, it means that the target of the genetically engineered T cells is CD19, which is found on CLL cells, and autologous means it comes from the patient themselves, not from a donor. What are the key impacts for this for CLL patients? Well, the first one is going to be improved access to care. Without the cumbersome REMS requirement, more treatment centers, especially non-academic community hospitals and smaller oncology practices, may be able to offer CAR-T therapies. Currently, REMS impose strict training, infrastructure, and monitoring requirements that limited the availability to specialized services. Faster treatment timelines. With fewer regulatory and logistical hurdles, the time from referral to infusions could be shortened. This is especially important if there's a fast-moving relapsed refractory CLL patient who may not have the luxury of waiting weeks or months for therapy coordination. This is most true when CAR-T is used to treat Richter's transformation. Reduced burden on healthcare providers. Removing REMS lessens the significant administrative load and training obligations for providers. This could increase the willingness of institutions to offer CAR-T therapy and improve the patient experience by streamlining care. I do want to point out that there's been no change in safety monitoring standards. And although the REMS are no longer mandated, the FDA and manufacturers still expect CAR-T centers to follow rigorous protocols for managing serious side effects like cytokine release syndrome, CRS, or immune effector cell-associated neurotoxicity syndrome, or ICANS. That's the neurotoxicity or confusion and other neurological symptoms that some CAR-T patients get. The absence of REMS does not mean a relaxation of safety standards. What this means is it signals a maturing of the evidence base. The FDA's decision reflects growing confidence in the real-world safety profile of these therapies and broader clinician familiarity with managing associated toxicities. For CLL patients, especially those with limited options, this affirms that CAR-T is becoming a more mainstream therapeutic consideration. What can we conclude? only approximately 1 out of 5 eligible patients currently receive cell therapy treatment. The removal of REMS is a positive development for CLL patients, potentially expanding access, accelerating treatment timelines, and reducing institutional barriers without compromising safety. However, to be honest, the immediate impact may be minimal. Most existing access constraints, such as cost, complexity, and the limited number of sites available today offering the therapy remain unchanged. The difficulty of the procedure and its efficacy often leave it as a last resource for many patients. That said, this is a step in the right direction. It suggests that the FDA's growing confidence in CAR-T strategy will help clear the path for future innovation and expand access.